I've been trying to figure out my wig lifestyle. I've been trying to figure out how to accurately put on a wig, let it last, and do everything correctly. And it has been a journey, y'all. So this video is all about the things that you don't want to do when installing a wig. If you're new here, my name is Abby, and I typically do a lot of hair and makeup videos. And in this one specifically, I just wanted to share a little bit of vulnerability, y'all, because this was a journey. The one thing that I wanted to make sure of was that my hair was absolutely flat, or as flat as possible, because I have pretty thick hair. Lately, it's been a little iffy, but typically I have very thick hair, and I wanted to make sure that my braids were very flat. I only did about 8 braids, and I connected all of them together in the back and just kind of crocheted it so that I have a flat look. And by the time I was done with this, I was done with myself. I think at this point is where everything kind of just went downhill. And I know, right? We're so early into the process, and already as I'm editing this video, I'm like, dang, I think this is where I went wrong. So I used some Got2b glue to slick back my hair and get it as flat as possible so there aren't any flyaways when I put on my HD cap, right? Because that's what the girlies on TikTok and on YouTube said to do. So that's what I did. But I think the first problem here was trying to dry this Got2b glue gel with hot air. I had it on high heat, and I wanted to make sure that there were no flyaways at all before I put on this HD cap. I think unfortunately for me, that's where I went wrong, because right after this, I put on my cap and I went in with some Got2b glue hairspray, and I went ahead and dried that with some cold air from the blow dryer. And I think like the clashing scientific effects of the products just made this go terribly wrong. I was definitely feeling very confident. I'm like, yep, I'm drying this hair. But do you see how it's starting to get white all around that first perimeter of my edges? And then I go in with a second layer like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna need this to really be held down. You know, the girlie said 2 layers have got to be sprayed. Blow dry that down so that your cap won't move. And then you go ahead and cut it. But I kept realizing that this thing was just turning white. Do y'all see? This looks crazy.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Then I had the bright idea of just carving out my edges underneath the HD cap. Like, okay, cool. Let me just outline this so I could be able to cut it. Do y'all see this craziness? It's literally painful, first of all. And then you're seeing all of that white cast from the hairspray and the gel. Girl.
Oh my God. What is that?
Then I had the bright idea of, let me just put some makeup on this. I know you're supposed to put makeup anyway, but I'm like, maybe if I just double layer, triple layer, whatever, it won't show as much. Big fail.
Trust the process, girl. Trust the process.
At this point, we've already encountered about 3 mistakes, right? But I'm like, you know what? We're going to continue. We're going to try to figure this out. We're going to trust the process, because one thing we don't do is give up over here, okay? So I'm like, okay, let me go in with some of my wig glue. I started applying that all over the edge of the cap. And do y'all see how much glue I was using? Who in the world told me to have such thick layers of glue on my head? One side was looking good and the other side was looking very questionable. However, my thought process was kind of just like, the more glue, the better hold. Yeah, no, that was not it. And then I decided to follow up with a freaking Q-tip, y'all. A Q-tip to wipe off like the excess product on the edges. Girl, if you don't grab a rag, just grab a rag and go ahead and wipe down your edges as much as you need to. Now that I've gotten your attention this far, I think it'll be a good time to mention that I'm using a wig that I've installed before. Is this a safe space? I installed this wig months ago, and the first time that I installed it, it literally took me like 4 hours to install this wig. So I'm like, let me try again, you know? Let me see if I remember anything that the girlies told me. Girl, clearly my mind went absolutely blank when it came time to reinstall this wig. And on top of that, I feel like if you're not a professional at installing wigs, it just becomes a little bit more difficult to reinstall a wig that's already been used, because you don't have like full autonomy over like how you cut it and all that. You just gotta trust that what you did the first time is gonna work the second time around. It didn't do it that well for me. It worked at the end of the day, but it was really a struggle. Then I decided, okay, let me go in with another layer of glue. Again, y'all, who told me to add such a thick layer of glue? And then this is where I messed up too, because who told me not to wait for that glue to dry clear completely? My impatient behind was like, it's dry enough. Let me go ahead and start at, girl. Oh my God. I'm really over here stressing myself out watching back this edit because this process could have been so much more simple if I would have just simply followed instructions. But I was treating this wig install like how I follow food recipes. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get the ingredients that you're telling me, but I'm gonna add and subtract whatever ingredients I want to whenever I want to. My advice to you is not to do that, especially if you don't have experience with installing wigs and doing this thing. Just listen to the instructions, do as you are told, okay? This is another area where I went wrong too, because I did not cut off the pieces of my ear the first time or this time. I would suggest before you start gluing down your wig to please go in there and make sure that this wig is fitting your head accordingly. Don't be like me, cutting off the ear little edge pieces when the wig is already glued down. I butchered this cut so badly, but I was like, you know what? Hopefully the wind don't blow today and they ain't gonna see the edges. They ain't gonna see the ear. They ain't gonna see none of that. I was just like, you know what? It is what it is at this point. I went ahead and put on my headband. This is not necessarily a mistake that I made, but I wish I would have used a clean headband because I feel like the lace almost got stuck to it when it was dry because I left it in for like 30 minutes to an hour. And when I was taking this off, like, you see how I didn't want to come off? Like, I was like, what's going on? Is it because my headband is dirty? And I think that's exactly what happened. But your girl was excited because although she went through so much struggle, like she really was doing this. Like the wig was literally laying. But another mistake that I made was adding this lace tint to my fingers in order to apply it to the dang lace, y'all. Like, this lace tint did not get off of my fingers for like a good 2 to 3 days. This entire process was just a series of rookie mistakes that I made. Like, literally, this was so difficult, but I wanted to really follow through and get this wig on my head. So I went with a side part, and everything here kind of worked out in my favor. I used some of my wax stick. I went in with the hot comb. I also think what made these results look at least a little bit decent was the quality of this wig. This wig is from AliExpress. I think it's from Wow Angel. And it really just helped that the quality of the hair and everything was just perfect, because even if my actual application was kind of trash, at least like from a distance, it looked good. You know, like don't look too close, like not too much, but from a distance, we was doing a good job. I went ahead and finished up with my final touches, and then I added some curls in this thing as well, and I was really feeling myself. Overall, I feel like for a rookie, she did that. Like, I give this whole process like a healthy 7 out of 10, you know. The wig looks good. Again, don't look too close. But it looks good, I feel good, and hopefully this video was helpful and helped you learn something in reference to what you shouldn't do when installing a wig. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.